MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Answer the question.
Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned, we're going to start right now.
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. I just want to give a quick thank you to our producer, Yeti. Thank you, Yeti. All right. You're awesome. And get the show going. Look at, hey, what? See his arm, Shady? What about this one? All right, guys. We love you guys. Thank you very much for coming into the MG Show. That's from Rev Rob and Charla. Thank you guys so much for our little Yeti. He can now make an appearance right here on the MG Show. That's our producer, guys, just so you know. And also, thank Yeti. Let's see some 47s for Yeti. He's been here every day, never late, always here. God bless you, Yeti. We love you. And don't let that go to your head. Please, Shady.
What about Shady?
What about him?
Yeah, let's thank Shady.
You left early the other day. You were like half day
talk
Shady.
About how great Shady is for 5 seconds.
Wrong.
I need more counseling, okay, to get to that point.
Well, we tried a different person, and that didn't work out. By the way, guys, we had to go back to the original person because that the new guy. I think actually, I heard he's in a psych ward.
He is. Yeah. He's in the failed rapper psych ward.
Yes.
All right. So to all you TDS clowns, you fake MAGA experts, all you asshats and media hacks that spent the day screaming, Donald Trump is a war criminal and he'll start World War III with Iran any second. Trump, last night before the deadline, he dropped a truth. 2-week suspension of all U.S. bombings on attacks in Iran, a double-sided ceasefire in place. Iran submitted to a full 10-point peace proposal, and we're working to reopen the Strait of Hormuz through diplomacy. It's going to take some time, okay? It's not going to be perfect, but your entire fear-porn narrative just died in real time in less than 8 hours, Shady. You people, all of you people, Trump is there, Shady Groove, with his little laser pointer, trying to find out who is faithful to MAGA and who understands the plan. And Alex Jones, you failed. Alex Jones's son, little Rexy boy, you failed. All Barnes Noble, who's a Bernie donor and a Trump hater and an Act Blue donor, you failed, Barnes Law. Ro Khanna, you failed. And you sound just like InfoWars and the rest. It's weird how the MSM Now, whatever it is, MSN Now, whatever they're called, all these talking heads, they all sound like our fake MAGA influencers now, don't they, Shady? Isn't that weird? But you guys have been exposed in the biggest way possible. It's called the art of the deal, guys, and peace through strength, baby.
Boy, oh boy. I think that sums it up pretty well. To look at the dynamic of what it was that we said to you was going to happen, play through what it was that did happen, and the way that, again, this started out in 2015. Donald Trump is an IQ test. Donald Trump is an IQ test to prove whether or not someone is really proud of their country, whether or not someone is really a true patriot at their core. During the Revolutionary War, let me explain something very interesting. During the Revolutionary War, it was very, very, very difficult to determine if a human being was with the revolution or with the British. It was very difficult. People would lie through their teeth. The spy games that were going on then, the deception that was going on, trying to trick people, trying to get people close to George Washington, trying to get people to do these things that the whole fiasco that was going on with John Adams. All of these different things were going on back then. You see, there was no mainstream media, and it was still happening. You understand this, guys? These people are not pro-America. They've never been pro-America, and we've had about 30, 40 years of people teaching them that they're better off being a communist, and they come out of college thinking that communism and socialism are somehow the way forward. Donald Trump is correcting that, and he's building a base of youth that see it different, man. I mean, I know that we got some younger people out here, but the younger people in America aren't biting on this whole Cold War narrative thing, dying to be afraid to get under their desks whenever you tell them there's a nuke coming, like they did to us.
Yeah, and we got it. We got them right there. Guys, I want to just real quick, 1085 is the post. Let me just double check to see where that is, 1085. Okay, and then this is, okay, so President Trump posted today, very specifically, let me just go to this. Let's see. The United States will work closely with Iran. Let me grab that True Social, guys. Hang on one second. Because it's very interesting, because it's a Delta today, Shady Groove. And we've got a Q post that matches with a Delta today. Okay, let me just go to this, and then we got to let me see. The United States will work closely with Iran. Okay, right? Okay. Is that the one? Let me just double check. Okay, so if you look at this post right here, the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will be a very productive regime change. Sorry, guys. There will be no enrichment of uranium. Okay. No enrichment of uranium, and the United States will, working with Iran, dig up and remove all of the deep-buried B-2 bombers' nuclear dust. It is now and has been under very exacting satellite surveillance, Space Force. Nothing has been touched from the date of the attack. We are and will be taking tariffs and sanctions relief with Iran. Many of the 15 points have already been agreed to. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And then today, Shady Groove. Look at this post right here, 1085. 4/8/2018. Korea discussed denuclearization, okay? After all these years, no MSM positive media blast? Think, now Syria? Iran? Wow. So, Iran, Shady, no enrichment of uranium, denuclearization. Iran, Russia flexed through missile tech? That's who sold so the tariffs are going to be Russia and China. We started asking coincidence long ago for specific reason. Those awake can finally see for themselves. Conspiracy? Have faith. Trust the plan. What do you think of that, Shady? Wow. A Delta today hitting exactly what Trump is posting about on True Social today, 8 years later.
That's not a joke. What that shows is a level of planning that has been going on for a very, very long time. And just like we said, none of us are pro-war. No one is pro-war. But war is a necessary evil in a situation where you have to do the right thing to protect innocent people from being slaughtered. And that is what has occurred here. Literally, millions of Iranians would have stood up to them, and millions of them would have been slaughtered if they had done it. It wouldn't work that way. We needed to take away the power structure. And if you read the Q drops, you would recognize that Iran was the boogeyman. They were a paper tiger. Iran was a paper tiger, just like North Korea is a paper tiger. And this is exactly what's being exposed. They're freaking out because Tucker Carlson, Jeff, and Alex Jones, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all that group, guess what just went away? Their ability to pretend like we are threatened by Iran. No one can pretend like we're being threatened by Iran anymore. So now what are we going to do? Now what are we going to do? Where are we going to find the boogeyman that's going to stand up and act like and pretend like it can somehow counter America? Does Xi Jinping want to talk? Does he want to start yapping? Because if he were to start yapping, they could go pick his ass up exactly like they went and picked up Maduro. And Vladimir Putin, exactly the same. If we wanted to go get Vladimir Putin and put him in a jail cell in New York, you know what? We could. That's the message that we're sending. And these people are literally losing their minds because they have been of the position that America is weak. And they want you to be weak so that they can feed you BS 24/7 and make you feel weaker. If you start feeling strong, you start looking around for something productive to do. You start thinking, man, maybe I could be part of this. You start saying, hey, the golden age just sounded pretty good. Maybe we should do something about our situation and make it better. That's exactly the opposite of what they want you to do.
Then you got neocon Bill Crystal, Shady Groove, in 8 hours flat, okay? He posts this. He posts on, Andrew and I discussed Trump's threat of genocide in Iran. Shady, look at that. Yeah.
And then
now the mother of all tacos, which means Trump, what is it? Trump always chickens out.
Yes.
Okay, so he's saying Trump, Iran warning is a threat of genocide. Generals refuse orders. Impeach him now is what he's saying. And then in the evening, mother of all tacos because Trump didn't follow through. Pick a lane, Bill. Is it genocide or weakness? Can't have both, can you?
Nope, you can only have your psyop.
Oh.
You can only have your ability to feign and faux outrage. That's all they have. They pretend like they're outraged by something. They are not. They are not journalists. They are not investigative reporters. They don't know one thing about the craft. Okay. They are lunatic repeaters, literal repeaters. They get messages at 4 a.m. in the morning and they go out and they say it on television.
That's right. Midnight's Watch, real quick, $17 of gold tether in the Rumble wallet. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. So we called it yesterday. We told you. My mom's like, they're standing on the bridge. What if Trump, he's not going to bomb the bridge, Mom. Okay, there's going to be a deal. And in fact, sure as shit, we were right, Shady Groove.
Listen, you know what they did, Jeff? Donald Trump was able to get the Iranian Revolutionary Guard to get human beings out in black robes and stand in a circle around their electrical facilities and around other sites in Iran. As a show of protecting this, do you realize that means that the people that have power in Iran are very aware of the threat that's being wielded by Donald Trump? Remember the media, Jeff, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, they keep telling me that there's no real negotiations. They're not really listening to Trump. They're ignoring everything he's saying. They're doing their own thing and they're beating America back off of their shores. That's the story they told us. So then why do you need to surround all of your electrical facilities with a bunch of females dressed in black garb if you're not afraid of Donald Trump?
Yeah. And you know what? I think the mainstream media calling him a psychopath and all of that other stuff actually helps Trump.
Well, it does help Trump.
Think about it.
Well, it's very similar to the Rocket Man thing. Do you remember do you remember your first reaction to the Rocket Man thing?
I sang
a long
the song.
time ago. You're
Rocket Man.
He's calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man. Yeah. You're like, what is going on? You've never heard a politician actually talk in that type of vernacular before. It's refreshing. It's amazing.
Everybody's laughing because I said sure as shit. Sorry about that. I meant to sure as. Oh no. Okay, there we go.
They were literally on TV saying that Donald Trump is going to kill every civilian. Yeah. They're saying that his...
Well, wait a second. Not just on TV. Alex Jones was saying that.
Sure, that's exactly right.
Rokana.
They were literally taking the word civilization that Jeff so eloquently shared with you yesterday, the real definition of civilization. Yeah. Civilization does not mean people. Civilians.
Exactly. And I was saying, just calm down. How many times has Trump like wielded that laser pointer and watched the cats just scramble. North Korea in 2017, 18. That's what, I mean, guys, it's the Chinese tariffs, the border wall, all of it. It's the same pattern. Do you guys not recognize patterns that President Trump makes a threat, watches you guys all scatter? Now, all you guys, fake MAGA and mainstream media, they're now one Shady Group. They're working hand in hand at this point. Okay. I mean,
it's a blessing.
It's a blessing. And you guys see it, don't you? Press 17 if you guys see what we're talking about.
Clear as day.
Sure as.
Hillary Clinton.
So let's get to the real news of the day. This is part of it right here. This is Secretary Hegseth and Chairman Dan Kane hold a press conference on the briefing, Operation Epic Fury. Let's get our news from directly where we need the news to be, Shady.
Let's actually listen to the people that are making the news.
Yeah.
And by the way, have you ever been more proud of your military? Have you ever been? I've always been proud of the people that served and the people, but it's really been like a little bit of a catch-22 because you're like, man, I don't really want to send people into the meat grinder with these psychos that are running our country. Now we have a normal human being that's actually running our country, and all the psychos are calling him psycho. Meanwhile, competence and excellence is winning the day. Like, I don't really know how else to say it. Well, Maduro is literally in prison, and we got our fighter pilots back, and now we have this massive deal on the table with Iran that 2 months ago, can you imagine, Jeff, just think, 2 months ago, 60 days. Could you imagine we'd be sitting here in 60 days? That would have been, mid-January? Could you imagine in mid-January that we're already here, not even in the middle of April, and we already have a deal on the table from Iran?
Yeah.
Like, they told us that this was going to be like a slog like Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what it wasn't? And guess what Vietnam would not have been if Donald Trump was in charge during Vietnam? It would not have been a 10-year slog like it was.
And these people that are calling, President Trump a psychopath, and what have we learned that term? What is that term again?
Projector.
No.
Oh, projection.
Yes, that's it. All right, guys. And guys, isn't it great to be right again? I mean, I don't mean to be like a big head or nothing, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. I mean, I can't even look at Twitter anymore, Shady Groove. It's just ridiculous, these people.
I'm telling you, dude, the highlight of my day is to come in here and to talk to you and to be excited about winning in this country. Like, I read this stuff, and I have to pay attention to it, but I don't care about it. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect us, the two of us doing this. I could like nothing more than coming here and talking and having doing this show every day.
All right, here we go. This is Secretary of War. Pete Hegseth, who apparently they said it was going to be fired along with Kash Patel, the fake news people. Oh, Shady, I forgot to tell you. You told me earlier, Alex Jones predicted the ceasefire agreement.
That's correct. Yes, Alex Jones he predicted it right in the middle of his tantrum about like how we got to get him 25th Amendment. He's like, "Oh yeah, but by the way, he's gonna actually solve the problem. He's gonna fix it."
Did you guys like, share, and subscribe the video, guys?
Answer the question.
All right, here we go. Woo, guys, good job. Love you all. Thank you for your support. God bless you and the MG show.
And God bless our great military.
It's been a threat to the United States and the free world for 47 years. Chance of death to America, targeting our people, killing Americans, lying and blackmailing their way toward a nuclear weapon, so they thought. No longer. Not on our watch. Other presidents marked time and kicked the can down the road. President Trump made history. From the strike that took out Qasem Soleimani, to tearing up the disastrous Obama-Iran deal, to the precision campaign that obliterated Iran's nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer, to the decisive military victory we just achieved in Operation Epic Fury. No other president has shown the courage and resolve of this commander-in-chief. President Trump forged this moment. Iran begged for this ceasefire, and we all know it. As a President Truth this morning, a big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough. Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory on the battlefield. a capital V military victory. By any measure, Epic Fury decimated Iran's military and rendered it combat ineffective for years to come. You see, in less than 40 days, one of our combatant commands, Central Command, CENTCOM, using less than 10% of America's total combat power, dismantled one of the world's largest militaries. The world's leading state sponsor of terrorism proved utterly incapable of defending itself, its people, or its territory. We untied just a fraction of our strength, and Iran suffered a devastating military defeat. Together with our Israeli partners, America's military achieved every single objective, on plan, on schedule, exactly as laid out from day one. Iran's Navy is at the bottom of the sea, whether it's the Soleimani class, their frigate class, their prized drone aircraft carriers, submarines, mine layers, sunk. Iran's Air Force has been wiped out. Iran no longer has an air defense, any sort of a comprehensive air defense system. We own their skies. Their missile program is functionally destroyed. Launchers, production facilities, and existing stockpiles depleted and decimated. And almost completely ineffective. Iran shot hundreds and hundreds of missiles and one-way attack drones at our aircraft carrier. They were obsessed with it, and they never got even close. Every single one of those shots easily shot down miles and miles away from the Abe Lincoln. They were blowing ammo into Fantasyland. Contrast
expending
that
ammunition
with, most significantly, in last night's wave of more than 800 strikes, we finished completely destroying Iran's defense industrial base, a core pillar of our mission objective. What little they have left buried in bunkers is all they will have. They can still shoot, we know that. Their command and control is so decimated they can't really talk and coordinate, so they still may shoot here and there, but that would be very, very unwise. But they can no longer build missiles, build rockets, build launchers, or build UAVs. Their factories have been razed to the ground, set back in historic fashion. You see, had Iran refused our terms, the next targets would have been their power plants, their bridges, and oil and energy infrastructure. Targets they could not defend and could not realistically rebuild. It would have taken them decades. And
that's part of civilization, not people. What he just explained to you was civilization, Shady.
Yeah, and Trump has just posted too, and he's making the point here, talking about all of the people in the news media. See, this whole thing that we've been explaining to you guys is coming to fruition right now about who really controls Iran and the CIA, because what's happening right now is there's all these people that are acting like they're privy to the negotiation or part of the negotiation. So it looks to me, this is my speculation, my opinion on this, it looks to me like there's been a split in the faction that has been the mullah controlling regime into another group that we are currently dealing with that has gained power in Iran away from them somehow. I'm just speculating here due to the way that this is being discussed. And the narratives that are coming back from the clown media are coming out of the old guard in Iran, and they're trying to say that there's nothing happening, that all these differentiations with the negotiations. Trump's like, they're not part of what we're talking about right there.
That's right. Numerous agents, lists, and letters are being sent out by people that have nothing to do with the USA. Iran negotiation, in many cases, they're total fraudsters, charlatans, and worse. They will be rapidly exposed after our federal investigation is completed. There is only one group of meaningful points that are acceptable to the United States, and we will be discussing them behind closed doors during these negotiations. These are points that are on the basis of which we agreed to a ceasefire. It is something that is reasonable and can easily be dispensed with. It is very much like fake news CNN last night headlining a source from Nigeria, no less, that had no power or authority to write a letter claiming great authority. President Donald J. Trump. Wow.
They basically posted real raw news.
It's a site out of Nigeria, but
it's
yeah.
Nigeria.
All right, here we go. Okay, yeah, totally. Fake news. Fake Nigerian news, Shady.
Well, you know, sometimes they might get it right sometimes.
We were locked and loaded.
They didn't get it right, though.
No, but not this time.
President Trump had the power to cripple Iran's entire economy in minutes. But he chose mercy. He spared those targets because Iran accepted the ceasefire under overwhelming pressure. The new Iranian regime understood that a deal was far better than the fate that awaited them. This new regime just happened to look at what happened to their predecessors. Their top leadership was systematically eliminated. The previous Iranian supreme leader, dead. The Supreme National Security Council Secretary, dead. The Supreme Leader Office Advisor, dead. The Supreme Leader Military Office Chief, dead. The Defense Minister,
Dead.
no longer with us. The IRGC Commander, dead. The Armed Forces General Staff Commander, dead. The Intelligence Minister, dead. The IRGC Navy Commander, no longer here. The IRGC Intel Chief, dead. I skipped over a bunch, and I could go on and on and on.
Oh, please do.
Include the new so-called new Supreme Leader, wounded and disfigured. This new regime...
And allegedly he's in a coma. That's why they had a cardboard box and they're using AI videos to make it seem like he's in control. So there's that too. That was just reported by New York Times and a bunch of others.
Which we're still skeptical of all.
And out of time. So they cut a deal. They know this agreement means that they will never, ever possess a nuclear weapon. Under the terms, any nuclear material they should have will be removed. Any material, they should not have will be removed. Right now, their dust is deeply buried and watched 24/7 overhead. The president has been clear from the beginning, there will be no Iranian nuclear weapons. Period. Full stop. Other presidents said it. President Trump did it. Operation Epic Fury. Less than 6 weeks, clear mission, decisive action, overwhelming firepower, America first, a historic battlefield victory.
Thank you very much. Jersey Talks 5 subscriptions along with the G Brothers. 5 subscriptions to you guys. Get over to rumble.com/MG show. Get into chat and get your Red Castle.
Oh.
For decades, Iran killed Americans with roadside bombs in Iraq, using cowardly proxies to do their dirty work while they hid safely in Tehran. They struck our embassies with car bombs and attacked from the shadows, never daring to face us toe-to-toe. They thought they could bleed America with impunity. Well, they just learned the hard way what happens when you try to fight us directly. And even when they got lucky, one time in 40 days, and downed 2 of our pilots, they couldn't hold them. In a daring 14-hour rescue operation, 7 hours in daylight and 7 hours of night, both pilots were recovered safely. Not once, but twice. A daylight thunder run right up the middle of their country. Boots on the ground. A midnight raid right up the middle of their country. Boots on the ground. 0 American casualties. The Iranians humiliated and demoralized. We control their fate, not the other way around. That's why they came to the table. Iran's defeat is America's retribution for every American lost to Iranian terror, especially those brave troops killed by Iranian-made roadside bombs in Iraq that my generation knows so well, and for the suffering their regime has inflicted around the world. Now we have a chance at real peace and a real deal. The War Department, for now, has done its part. We stand ready in the background to ensure Iran upholds every reasonable term. And as everyone knows, nobody makes a better deal than President Trump. To the warriors of Epic Fury, I say well done. You're the backbone of our country. Your skill, your bravery, and sheer guts and grit showed the world what America is all about. I'm proud of you. We're proud of you. President is proud of you. Job well done. But stay vigilant and stay ready. To the families of our fallen, your sacrifice was in service of a historic cause. and we will always remember your heroes, our heroes. We will continue to honor them. And to our Israeli allies, thank you for being a brave, capable, and willing ally on this battlefield. The rest of the world and the rest of our so-called allies saw what real capabilities look like. They should take some notes.
Can we pause that just a second right there? I'd just like to jump in real quick. Really, pay attention to what's going on. Take away everything that's been put in your head, all of the nonsense that you've heard. Look at what is really happening. What's really happening on the ground is all of these people are against our greatest ally. Israel is our greatest ally in the region for a reason other than what people are telling you the reason is. And right now there is a reshift of the old guard. And I believe that what is happening is whenever Q said we're saving Israel for last, I think that's what you're watching right now. I think you're currently seeing that go away. The nonsense that was going on in Palestine, between Palestine and Israel, that was all controlled from Iran. The nonsense that's gone on in Syria, controlled from Iran. The nonsense that's gone on in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and Iraq, and other Middle Eastern countries, centered in Iran. They were doing all of this under the cloak that it was some sort of terrorist regime. Remember, the word terrorism didn't exist when many of you were very young. It's a new thing. It's created by the CIA. It's created by the people that want you to be afraid. And now look at what you're seeing here. Look at exactly what it is that we are all paying attention to in this very moment right here. All of it in real time is setting the stage for a future that does not include all of the people that were here to tell you that Iran somehow could harm you. He's telling you directly right there. The world has just changed in the last 30 days. The world changed, and the world moved towards the arc of history, bended towards what is right due to our actions in Iran.
Our American warriors deserve the credit for this day, but God deserves all the glory. Tens of thousands of sorties, refuelings, and strikes carried out under the protection of divine providence, a massive effort with miraculous protection. Dude 44 Bravo spoke for all of us. God is good. The chairman will now provide an even deeper military detail on the historic success of Operation Epic Fury. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
The People's General, everybody.
I want to start this morning by honoring the 13 members of our American Joint Force who were killed in action thus far during this operation. Their sacrifice and that of their families is deeply important to us, and we are grateful for each of them, and will continue to mourn their loss. Their names and their bravery will never be forgotten. On February 28th, the President of the United States ordered the Joint Force to execute Operation Epic Fury with the direction to accomplish three distinct military objectives: destroy Iran's ballistic missile and drone capabilities, destroy the Iranian Navy, and destroy their defense industrial base to ensure that Iran cannot reconstitute the ability to project power outside their borders. Over the course of 38 days of major combat operation, the Joint Force achieved the military objectives as defined by the President. We welcome the ongoing ceasefire, and as the Secretary said, we hope that Iran chooses a lasting peace. But as Secretary Hegseth said, let us be clear, a ceasefire is a pause, and the Joint Force remains ready if ordered or called upon to resume combat operations with the same speed and precision as we've demonstrated over the last 38 days, and we hope that that is not the case. I want to congratulate and thank the leadership today at U.S. Central Command, including the Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, the Deputy Commander Lieutenant General Kevin Leahy, the Senior Enlisted Leader Fleet Master Chief Compton, and every one of the component commanders, senior enlisted leaders, and especially the staff down at U.S. Central Command who does not get called out for any of the credit, but grinds 24/7 to help offer the options that we bring to the Secretary and the President. I also want to highlight the forces in the United States European Command under the command of Alexis Grinkowicz, who protected the western flank in support of CENTCOM. And I want to thank our partners across the intelligence community. Our ability to see and understand what an adversary is doing help us to be as decisive as we must be on the battlefield. And that includes DIA, NSA, NGA, the CIA, and the National Reconnaissance Office, and others. I want to thank the other combatant commands who have thus far contributed along the way to U.S. Central Command. This includes Transcom, Stratcom, Spacecom, SOCOM, and Cybercom, all of whom poured all in support of CENTCOM's efforts. And I want to thank, as the Secretary did, our Gulf partners who fought alongside each and every one of us every day. From the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, all who joined us together to defend and protect our people and our assets, and who, if required, stand ready to do so again. And I want to thank my team at the Joint Staff who work literally around the clock in order to help me offer the options that I must with the associated risks to the Secretary and to the President. They are the hardest working people that I know, and I am deeply grateful for their service. Most importantly today, I want to thank America's members of the Joint Force who've poured everything that they can into Operation Epic Fury, and their families who've worked 24 hours a day for 38 days. The Secretary and I could not be more proud of each and every one of you. And we deeply appreciate the support of the American people, who we know always have us in our thoughts and prayers, and we can feel this literally every single day. As the Secretary said, the United States has devastated the regime's ability to harm Americans and our interests for years to come. Since the beginning of major combat operations, the United States Joint Force has struck more than 13,000 targets, including in that 13,000 more than 4,000 dynamic targets that popped up on the battlefield and were immediately addressed, thanks to the exceptional command and control system and intelligence, acumen, and agility of our Joint Force. CENTCOM forces destroyed approximately 80% of Iran's air defense systems, striking more than 1,500 air defense targets, more than 450 ballistic missile storage facilities, 800 one-way attack drones storage facilities. All of these systems are gone. We've devastated Iran's command and control and logistical networks, destroying more than 2,000 command and control nodes and degrading their ability to target U.S. and friendly forces. It is, and we know this, incredibly frustrating right now to be a lower level Iranian commander trying to fight your fight. As the Secretary said, the Iranian Navy now lies mostly at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf, and we assess that we've sunk more than 90% of their regular fleet, including all of the major surface combatants, as the Secretary said. 150 ships are at the bottom of the ocean, and half of the IRGC Navy's small attack boats. Joint fires projected from the land, sea, and air executed more than 700 strikes against naval mine targets, and we had assessed that we destroyed more than 95% of their naval mines. And perhaps most importantly, we've destroyed Iran's defense industrial base, their ability to reconstitute those capabilities for years to come. We attacked, along with our partners, approximately 90% of their weapons factories. Every factory that produced Shahed one-way attack drones was struck. Every factory that produces the guidance systems that go into those drones was struck. Their missile defense industrial base is shattered, with more than 80% of their missile facilities gone, as well as their solid rocket motor production capability. It will take years for Iran to rebuild any major surface combatants, as more than 20 naval production and fabrication facilities have been damaged or destroyed, and nearly 80% of Iran's nuclear industrial base was hit, further degrading their attempts to attain a nuclear weapon. Throughout Operation Epic Fury, our joint force struck at the heart of Iran's ability to project power and threaten the United States and the region. And in order to do this, it required the service and sacrifice of more than 50,000 American warfighters deployed across CENTCOM, EUCOM, and stateside. The joint force flew more than 10,000 missions, including 62 bomber missions, 18 of which flew round trip from the United States to deliver bombs on military targets. Each of these missions was more than 30 hours in duration, and we did that 18 times. No other military in the world can do that. And it's a testament to the logistical force that quietly serves behind them. I cannot thank Transcom and the Air Force Tanker and Mobility Force more. Combined with Army and Navy joint fires, we struck more than 13,000 targets. And along with our Gulf partners, we've thus far intercepted 1,700 ballistic missiles and one-way attack drones, defending our forces and our partners in the civilian population. And we remain ready to do so should the need arise. Along the way, we consume more than 6 million meals, and by my estimate, more than 950,000 gallons of coffee, 2 million energy drinks, and a lot of nicotine, but I am not saying that we have a problem. I've laid out the statistics, but it does not truly capture the nature of combat. This is gritty and unforgiving business. It's chaotic. It's hot, it's dark, it's unpredictable, and there's always unknowns. And our people proudly walked into those unknowns and continue forward. And through it all, the joint force has demonstrated the unwavering resolve that the nation demands of us. We are a mission-focused force, and our objectives always is to create the conditions for peace, and today we have, while be ready should that peace break, which we hope it is not. And we remain ready. Before I turn it back to the Secretary, I also want to quickly revisit the rescue of the Air Force fighter crew over the weekend. To give you an update, we've had, the Secretary and I have had the profound honor of speaking directly with many of the warfighters on that mission, from the downed crew that were picked up to those forces that went and got them. Hearing these stories firsthand has only deepened our appreciation for their tenacity, creativity, courage, and grit of the American Joint Force. This is a story that gets to the very heart and soul of who we are as a joint force, who we are as Americans. Selfless sacrifice in service of others. From the backseater, Dude 44 Bravo, whose pure and unadulterated joy at seeing those helicopters come into the valley to get his front seater in daylight, because he knew the front seater did not have a jacket, and was so filled with heart-leaping joy at his front seater getting picked up, to the nighttime folks that went in and then got him, to the tanker forces that did the things that they had to do to give their own gas away, to the support packages, to those that went into the desert landing site not once, not twice, but 3 times as we fought through multiple contingencies. This was and is a joint force that has the guts to try, that does not quit, and who each and every day does the things that we must to dare to win. No lives were lost. We succeeded because the joint force is always at the ready. They trust each other, they trust their leaders, and they trust their training. And they remember first, foremost, and always that we do these things so that others may live, and we will never leave anyone behind. The success of Operation Fury thus far, and we hope it remains, culminates with this incredible rescue over the weekend, a direct example of the professionalism and courage of the United States military and our joint force. It's the service members on the front lines, our partners in the region, our teammates in the intelligence community, our civilian leaders in the OSW side of the house, the American workers who build the tools and weapons that we use, and the American people who back us up that help us to go do these things. I stand here humbled today, but frankly not surprised by what the Joint Force has been able to do. Their performance is fueled by a deep commitment to each other, their mission, and to our country. It is an incredible, deep honor for me to be a part of this Joint Force, and I'm humbled by the service and sacrifice each and every day that I am lucky enough to see. And finally, as I always do, I ask that we never forget our fallen and their families, especially those 13 fallen from Operation Epic Fury. May we always be worthy of their sacrifice and honor their legacy. And with that, sir, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll take a few questions.
Alexander Ingersoll, One America News. First of all, thank you to our troops. What role is our military playing in escorting vessels through the Strait of Hormuz at this point? And the president said on Truth Social that the U.S. will be hanging around to make sure everything goes well. Obviously, Mr. Secretary, you just mentioned, we know the scars from hanging around in Iraq for decades. But what does that entail in terms of our military presence at this juncture?
Yeah, we'll be hanging around. We're not going anywhere. We're going to make sure
did the meme.
Iran complies with.
I'm just hanging around. He did the meme, Shady.
The Beetlejuice meme.
The Beetlejuice meme. I'm just hanging around.
I'm just hanging out.
What?
This ceasefire, and then ultimately comes to the table and makes a deal. So we'll stay put, stay ready, stay vigilant, as the chairman laid out. Our troops are prepared to defend, prepared to go on offense, prepared to restart at a moment's notice with whatever target package would be needed in order to ensure that Iran complies. As far as the Strait, you saw the initial agreement that was struck, which is Iran's letting ships go through. So there'll be that will be happening. They will be sailing, and ultimately, as the president, we've done an incredible job militarily inside the Strait of Hormuz. What Admiral Cooper, I failed to mention Admiral Cooper's name. He's done a phenomenal job, along with everybody at AFCENT and NAVCENT and ARCENT and all the components down there, laying the groundwork for Iran. Iran doesn't have the same ability to defend it the way they did before, and so as the president has pointed out to the rest of the world, we barely get any of our energy out of the Strait, just a tiny fraction. It's time for the rest of the world to step up and ensure that that stays open after President Trump and the War Department brought Iran to the place where they are voluntarily opening it right now, as was announced last night. Yes, Jerry.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you both for the update. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning that there has been a very productive regime change in Iran, and that there will be no enrichment of uranium, and the U.S. will work with Iran to dig up and remove the deeply buried nuclear dust. So I just have two questions here. So,
I just want you to understand that they are worried about them digging up the uranium because it will lead to more breaking news, Shady. And it probably will have some news unlocks map, Shady.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like, Clinton Foundation sold it, who gave it to, how'd they get the uranium? Did it come through Russia via them selling America out? Very interesting.
Very.
Both you, Mr. Secretary, and the President have referred to a new regime in Iran. So is this not the regime that was at war with us for 47 years? And what do we think of when we're saying that this is a new regime? What are we thinking and what are we saying there? And then my second question is, with any future deal with Iran, is their handing over of all of their enriched uranium and they're promising not to enrich any future uranium a non-negotiable for the U.S.?
Well, it's always been non-negotiable that they won't have nuclear capabilities. And so right now it's buried and we're watching it. We know exactly what they have, and they know that. And they will either give it to us, which the president has laid out. They'll give it to us voluntarily. We'll get it. We'll take it out. Or if we have to do something else ourselves, like we did in Midnight Hammer or something like that, we reserve that opportunity. But what's clear, what the new Iranian regime knows, is they'll never have a nuclear weapon or the capability to get a path to one. As far as the new regime, you heard the list that I read. It's a new group of people who've seen the full capability of the United States military and has a new calculus about what it means to negotiate with us, hence why they came to the table wanting a ceasefire and the shooting to stop. So this new regime, which the regime has been changed, has a different interaction with the U.S. Right here.
Mr. Secretary, thank you. Of course,
I was going in front right here.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary and General Kane. Mary Margaret with the Daily Wire. 2 questions. Iran has said that safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz will be possible in coordination with Iran's armed forces and, quote, technical limitations. What do you believe that means? And then we've also heard reports that Iran has continued striking targets well into this morning. At what point are we beyond a grace period? Are we giving them a grace period? Is there a miscommunication there? What's going on with that?
What we know is that Iran is going to say a lot of things. A lot of people are going to say a lot of things, claim a lot of things. What has been agreed to, what's been stated, is the strait is open. Our military is watching. I'm sure their military is watching, but commerce will flow. And that's what you saw the markets react to, is that reality. As far as shooting, that we were monitoring it last night in real time. Of course we are. Iran would be wise to find a way to get the carrier pigeon to their troops out in remote locations to know not to shoot any longer one-way attacks or missiles, because it takes time sometimes for ceasefires to take hold. We're watching it. We're prepared if necessary, but we hope and believe that it'll hold. Yes.
Thank you, Secretary.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Why are you so rude? Just wait. I'm calling on people.
Thank you, Secretary yesterday in the President's Truth Social, he threatened to wipe out a civilization. That statement elicited a huge response in America. If Iran did not come to the table and make a deal yesterday by the deadline, was the President really prepared to wipe out Iran entirely?
Like I said, we had a target set, locked and loaded, of infrastructure, bridges, power plants. Remember, this is a terror regime, a military regime. Used all of these things for dual use to fund their military, to fund their terror campaigns. We had a lot of legitimate targets. They knew exactly the scope of what we were capable of. We hit some military targets on Karg, which is a bit of a signal. They can't defend it. And so Iran ultimately understood their ability, their future, to produce, to generate power, to fuel their terrorist regime was in our hands, was in President Trump's hands. That's why they came to the table. He ultimately said, we can take it all from you. Your ability to export energy will be taken away. And the United States military has the ability to strike those things with impunity. That type of threat is what brought them to the place where they effectively say, hey, okay, we want to cut this deal. Yes, right here.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman. David Zier, Real America's Voice. During the ceasefire, what do we do when we see Iran rearming, regrouping, repositioning weapon systems and air defenses? And also, have we confirmed the specific model type of air defense or man pads that took down our F-15?
We hung out with that guy, Shady, remember?
Yep, I do remember.
We're still working through the specific details around that particular shoot down. And the crews, when they normally return, go through a debriefing process along with the other members of that flight that were out there. And they'll go back, as they always do, and forensically look at what are the tactical lessons learned. Did we sense or see something? Could we have done something different? We do that, as I mentioned in a prior press conference, every single time we take any loss like that, so that we become a quick learning organization. On the other part of your question around the movement of Iranian military forces, U.S. CENTCOM will continue to monitor that situation. They will continue to have a series of response options, and if need be, will come to the Secretary and to the President for guidance and be prepared to do the things that they're ordered to do so against valid military targets in accordance with the normal procedures that we have.
I would just note, it's a good question. The more Iran moves forces, the more they emplace forces, the more easily targetable they are for us right now. Remember, we're able to look, we're able to see, we're able to sense. We know so if they try to preposition, they're just creating riper military targets for us to strike should they make the wrong decision at the table. Right here.
Mr. Secretary, Louis Martinez with ABC News. First, a question to General Kane, sir. In your personal opinion, were the risks of the Strait of Hormuz being closed because of the conflict, were they mitigated early enough in part of the decision-making process to lead up to the decision to take action against Iran? And in your opinion, is Iran in control of the Strait of Hormuz? We just heard the Secretary say that Iran is letting them ships through, which would imply that potentially it's not just. The Secretary also said that the U.S. That the strait is open. He did say that, sir. But in your opinion, sir, how can the U.S. ensure safe passage? And Mr. Secretary, can you say today that the United States achieved, the administration achieved the military goals that you've constantly delineated? But strategically, is that a victory because of that? And also, you said,
all right, I can answer his question for him. Yes, we achieved our military goals. Okay, you little stupid idiot. I mean, these people are just insane. He even said I'm sorry, Shady.
You're good.
We just need real news, and we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned, we're going to start right now.
Don't be rude. sure you tune into the MG Show Monday through Friday. I don't want to hear another word. Get yourselves an MG Show.
Operators active. Midnight black, no moon, no trace. Operators active, moving into place. Bloodlines twitching in the towers of gold. While Q drops hit like lightning, watch the story unfold. They targeted the children, they rigged every game. But the operators flipped the script, now they're feeling the flame. Trump on the front line, never backing down. Deep state panic screaming, hear the underground sound. Red pill dropping, timeline shifting fast. The storm is here, this one's built to last. Operators active, shadows in the fight, taking down the cabal through the dead of night. Bloodlines breaking, deep state on the run. Q confirmed it, victory's already won. Operators active, hear the thunder roar. Trump's still standing, setting freedom to the score. From the drops to the ops, the plan's in full effect. The great awakening, there ain't no going back. The families playing sinking under black team boots. They were relying on the secret loot. Hidden strings are snapping, one by one they fall. While the patriots rise with the writing on the wall. Military precision, silent as the grave. Draining every swamp, sending traitors to their cage. Q said, watch the water, now the flood is here. Waking up the sleepers, turning doubt to cheer. Future proofs past every riddle they dropped. The trap is sprung, now the whole house of cards just popped. Operators active, shadows in the fight, taking down the cabal through the dead of night. Bloodlines breaking, deep state on the run. Q confirmed it, victory's already won. Operators active, hear the thunder roar. Trump's still standing, setting freedom to the score. From the drops to the ops, the plan's in full effect. The great awakening, there ain't no going back. There ain't no going back. They laughed, they mocked, they called us all insane. Now the mask is ripped off, feel the global pain. No more hidden hand, no more puppet strings. The storm has landed, let the church bells ring. From the front to the rear, every operator's ready, their actions crystal clear. Operators active, echo through the sky. The cabal is finished, watch the old world die. Bloodlines buried, deep state in the dirt. Trump delivered, truth is what we're worth. Operators active, final mission done. The light is rising, the battle's already won. Q was right, the plan was always true. Operators active, now the world belongs to you.
What a great song. Thank you very much. Operators Active from Tartarium and Scottish Shannon right there in chat. God bless you all. Thank you very much. Welcome back to hour number 2. We will be getting into the Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She will brief members of the fake news on April 8th here coming up in a few minutes. We got it on deck. We will bring that to you when it becomes live. Shady Groove, welcome back.
Thank you so much, sir. Welcome back to all of you. And boy, oh boy, another fun-filled moment of competence and excellence on display. Watching the Secretary of War and the Joint Chiefs, General Raisin Kane, America's general, competence on full display. Are you guys excited about what it is that you are seeing? Are you recognizing the game board that is actually playing out? It says in the song there, it talks about trusting the plan. They mock you because you're trusting the plan. Well, what is the plan? The plan is for Donald Trump to kick their That's what the plan is. And that's exactly what Donald Trump has done. It's over. You guys realize it's over. The ass has been kicked. It's done with. So here we have, I want to follow up with hour number 1. I know we're waiting on Carolyn to come in, but I want to follow up with a little bit of some stunning facts that I think that we should all be focused on. And it's very interesting how many people are skipping over this. Because don't you remember that we're like every numbnut on the internet is screaming and yelling, telling you how horrible Israel is, except for the reality that, oh, wait a minute, Israel's the only person that was our ally in this whole thing to get rid of Iran. Who did Iran actually threaten? Well, they would threaten countries like Albania, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Latvia, Luxembourg. Look at all these countries. What are these countries? What are you reading off? Portugal. What are you talking about? Oh, wait a minute. These are Turkey. Oh, these are the NATO countries. 32 NATO countries right here. The list of NATO countries. You want to see the list of who helped us? Here's the list of who helped us. List the people that who actually helped. Oh, well, the United Kingdom let us use one of their bases to land our B-52s. And Greece, oh, they had a logistical hub for the missile system. And Germany, well, their air base was the primary support base, but just a significant portion of the munitions were used in the strikes. They were already on site. They're our munitions. Hosted approximately 50 aerial refueling tankers in the Azores out of Portugal out of 15, what do you say, 30,000, some ridiculous number. My outrage is very pointed right here. Look at this, guys. They didn't help us. The people that claim to be your allies didn't help us. What is the MG show telling you? The MG show is telling you that these people have business there. They have business in Iran, and they're doing business in Iran, and they don't want to hurt their business in Iran. And what do we have here? Oh, yeah, look, we have here the Straits of Hormuz.
Mm-hmm.
We have ships moving through. Okay. Yeah. This is what's actually happening. Meanwhile, when all the numbnuts, Jeff, they're literally,
they're saying the strait is closed right now.
So, yeah, they're saying that, but also we have someone mentioned in the chat that this guy Stu Peters is out there saying that they left all of the military members in the C-130s whenever they blew them up. I'm like, no way, that's true. Yes, that's true. That's what these people are doing. So when you're in the middle of actually dealing with this threat of Iran once and for all, look at what all these people are doing. Yeah. They would much rather a world where the threat existed because they had power whenever they can make you afraid. But if they can't make you afraid, they have no power. So they have to make up things that seem scary so that they can get, I guess, clicks from the network. I mean, I really don't know who their audience is at this point.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? Right?
It is.
I wanted to play something that Q Shaw sent me last night, Shady Groove.
Okay.
He sent it to me on Instagram. I got it on X right now. And this is out of Iran. What you're going to watch is not mourning, okay? It's resistance. When grief becomes a dance, no regime can silence the people's soul, Shady Groove. Check this out. This is amazing.
Thank you.
These are not ordinary funerals. These are the funerals of the sons and daughters killed by the regime. This is not just grief, it is rebellion. It is ancient, to a time before darkness, before fear, before this regime, before Islam, because even death was met with dignity and pride. And now, once again, our people are returning to that spirit. A mother dances at her child's grave, not because she feels no pain, but because her grief has climbed to the highest peak of sorrow, where tears are no longer enough. That dance is not happiness. It is heartbreak set to motion. It is a scream, a refusal, a rebellion. But that depth, that unbearable, magnificent sadness is our greatest strength. Because no regime can survive a people who still feel, who still dance in the face of death. This pain, it has entered our bones now. It's become part of who we are. This is not an end, it is a beginning. The most ancient, most courageous farewell is to rise and to dance in mourning. To say, you did not win, we are still standing. And through our tears, through our trembling hands, through our shattered hearts, we'll keep creating, keep feeling, and keep rising.
Okay. That is resistance, guys. These people all had family members and friends killed by the regime that Alex Jones is protecting, okay? That MS Now is protecting, that CNN is protecting. And you've got people like Mac, our friend, sending me beautiful videos like this. I was touched last night when I saw this, Shady Groove.
That was amazing.
And, I want to also let you guys know that I had a video go viral. It was this video right here. with this lady right here. Amazing. It got 155,000 views, but I think it's more than that because it's got 15,000 likes and 9.3 retweets. I think it's 1.5 million just in that. It's in of itself.
10% reduction or
I
reduction to
you.
10%.
Yeah. Dean Cain, the Superman, reposted it. Newsmax reposted it. I got a lot of great people that reposted this, and it only shows 155K with 15,000 likes. That's 10%. This has got 1.5 million guaranteed.
Yeah, any human being from the Flynn network like screams Israel is the great Satan, and they get 20 million with 10 retweets. Yeah. You know, I mean, like that's the dynamic. But you know, the point we're trying to make to you guys is that these countries that are out there, they're not afraid of Iran. These people, they're not. No one was afraid of Iran. They weren't really afraid of them because they had deals with them. Iran had promised not to harm them. Okay, these personalized deals, these one-to-one, that's been obliterated now. All of that is gone. So now no one on planet Earth is going to fear Iran anymore. And it's just really interesting, Jeff, because I don't think a lot of people have thought this really through. What does the world, and I mentioned it yesterday, what does the world look like without a boogeyman? Like, how do the globalists control us? You know, you don't really understand, but Iran is a linchpin in global warming. Iran was a linchpin in COVID. Iran is a linchpin in so many different things that the globalists are pushing because they use it as a fear tactic to drag you back to fear so that they can manipulate you to do what it is that is against your best interest.
Yeah.
What about a world that rewards you being interested in something that's in your best interest? I'm just saying it is possible for us to attain that. We got to stand up and do it and be that if we want to be that, but we do have that opportunity.
That's right. And guys, I don't know. We've only got 21 reposts on our show today on X. You know,
that's terrible.
Where's everybody at?
I don't think anybody wants to help us anymore.
I don't know. Please repost that on X if you can, guys. Thank you so much for dropping it right now in the link.
People used to actually like repost our show and help us out.
I know. Now they're like, man, where's the video? I don't want to clip it from your show. I want to clip it from somebody else because I don't want to look like I'm part of your show because you're always right. I don't want to be always right.
Yeah, but they don't like being right, Jeff. There's definitely conflict there.
Wow, interesting. Thank you, Paula, for reposting on Facebook. We got we're on Facebook as well. Yeah, and we're on every single podcast platform. Hopefully Spotify coming back, Shady Group. We have to figure that one out.
Boy, I've been working hard.
I know. We're figuring that out, guys. We're trying to get our shows back. And, you know, just on Rumble alone, we've got 22 million all-time views, 22.5 million all-time views. That's just on Rumble alone, guys. Times that by maybe 3, give or take, 2.
Or probably even a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We're pushing 100 million total views since we started this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're enjoying it. And thank you guys so much. Maybe even more, Shady, because of YouTube, man. You know, when we lost it. But these guys right here, the biggest losers are on X. They're the nuke boys, we call them, Shady Groove.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you better get out and watch that MG show.
Alex is trying to tell you.
Oh, my God. Shady, oh, my God. There was a funny comment. I want to just, we were talking about this yesterday. Marjorie Trader Brown, green turns to brown under stress. Seat in Congress has been taken over by a wonderful and talented man, Clay Fuller, who won convincingly and right from the beginning, despite many people running for that Trump plus 37 seat. And despite the stench left by Green, congratulations to Clay Fuller, a very large improvement over his deranged predecessor, President Donald J. Trump.
And also happy to report that Thomas Massey is now behind on his primary contender in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So excited about that. And he's becoming more desperate, too, by the day. And by the way, all the people that want to like pretend like if you have people out there that are pretending like this guy is not funded by 4 billionaires, send me a DM and I'll send you the proof that this guy is absolutely 100% funded by the same Democrats that fund, or the same Arabella advisors that fund Democrats.
Yeah. Who's that?
Massey.
Oh, Masshole. Yeah, we've got it. Yeah, we've got it all. You know, we've got this, Shady Groove. This is amazing. I want to play this little piece, but while we're waiting for Caroline Levitt, check this out from your Vice President, J.D. Vance, talking about blackpilling.
Interesting.
The piece of advice I'd give to you, and I give it to American students, American conservatives in particular, is resist the temptation to think that victory is immediate or that we're going to win back our civilization through instant gratification. This institution was founded in 1996. It's far more influential than it was back then, but I think a lot of people, this is particularly true in the United States of America, if they see something that the administration does they don't like, they say, oh, that's not what we voted for, we're going to check out of politics. No. That's the exact wrong response. If we do something you don't like, the response should be to get more involved, to make your voice heard, and to try to push things in the direction that you want them to be pushed. Our civilization was not built overnight. It's not going to be saved overnight. And so what I'd encourage you to do is stay involved, be patient, and don't let disappointment turn to checking out of the system entirely. There's way too much of that, I would say, in the Anglo system and the American system. There's way too much, I didn't like this thing that the vice president said, or I didn't like this thing that the president did, and I'm going to completely check out. We call that blackpilling in the United States of America, and blackpilling is how you give power to the forces that are trying to destroy what our ancestors built. We need to take power back from those people and build the kind of institutions that can actually save our societies. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen in the term of one prime minister or one president, but it will happen so long as we keep our faith in God and we work hard to achieve it. That's what we have to do.
I'll clap for that. And you guys know who all the black pillars are, don't you now?
We do.
Wow. So you've got Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, InfoWars, Alex Jones, Rex Jones, little baby boy, Rex Jones. Okay. All of these people are probably paid by foreign media. Okay. Let's just look at this, Shady Groove. This is a post. Control and divide. Think Mueller, who is testifying before Mueller tomorrow. And at that point, it was Jerome Corsi. Forensic data analysis on phones and or computers. This is not about Guccifer 2.0. Who is about Guccifer 2.0, Shady Groove? Do you remember that person that was all about Guccifer 2.0?
I do.
Roger
Stone.
What happens if Mueller proves Free Speech Systems LLC, a.k.a. InfoWars, is linked to foreign intel agency and or non-domestic entities? How can the left use that information to divide and censor the right? Why are affiliates of InfoWars constantly attacking Q? Who is pulling the strings on Free Speech Systems LLC? Shady Groove?
That would be Alex Jones.
So this is essentially what we're talking about, and talking about all these black pillars and all these fake news media, alt-right media, working now in tandem with MS Now and CNN. We've been showing you these guys for how long now? How many years, Shady Groove?
It's 8.
So we're always wrong.
Until we're right.
And now we're right. And VP Vance is talking about blackpilling. I even have a song called General Blackpill. Shady.
I forgot about that one. That's actually a really good one.
Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, we are just urging you guys to, make your own mind up, obviously, because that choice to know is yours and yours only. Okay. And we just want you to understand that, we're here for you when you guys want to come back. Because we lost a lot of people with all the stuff that we talked about. But maybe those are the people that we wanted to lose. Does that make sense, Shady?
It does. And just while we're on that topic real quick, I'd just like to let everybody know, again, I'd like to thank everybody for all of the responses about how you found MG Show, why you love us, all of the different responses. And I'd also like to give you an insight. If you did respond to that, you have officially been signed up for our newsletter that's going to be coming out soon. So if you have any issue with receiving a newsletter with that to that email address, please let us know at connect@MG Show, or if you'd like to be included, please let us know at connect@mg.show, please.
There you go, Shady. You did it. Good job.
And also I'd like to can I get 3 minutes for an inspirational message? While we're waiting on Carolyn, I got something cool that we haven't talked about, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, and I'd like to share it with everybody because I think that you're all going to find something cool about this. And I'm going to grab the link here real quick and drop it to you because you're going to want this. Look, Jeff, I'm going to bring it over there, drop it in, paste, and then go back. Okay, so check this out. Here's what's actually going on. My Money 5 and Tools. The U.S. Treasury Department is marking the start of National Financial Literacy Month, emphasizing the role of financial education in expanding economic opportunity for Americans. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said financial literacy is central to achieving the American dream, highlighting its importance in helping individuals make informed decisions about saving, investing, and long-term planning. Making the most of your money starts with 5 building blocks for managing and growing your money. The My Money 5. Keep these 5 principles in mind as you make day-to-day decisions and plan your financial goals. I hear that Carolyn's coming up, but let me finish up real quick. This is the 5 goals you want to earn, you want to save and invest, you want to protect, you want to spend, and then you want to borrow. These are the 5 pillars of investing your future, and the White House has actually set up a program here through this link right here that I'm going to also share with you. So you can, as a young person, learn about what it means to be financially secure and also build on the wealth that you're going to be getting as through these different programs and stuff, as far as the Trump gold or the Trump accounts that are going to be given out for the next 3 years. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and I didn't get to it last week, but this is very, very important in my opinion.
And here we go. Thank you, Shady Groove. That would be good for our students here at the MG Show. Thank you guys so much. Here we go. Caroline Levitt.
Before I discuss the ceasefire with Iran, I have a quick update from the First Lady of the United States.
This is huge.
Yesterday marked the very first conviction under the Take It Down Act, landmark legislation that First Lady Melania Trump played an instrumental role in getting passed, that protects victims from non-consensual AI-generated sexually explicit images, cyber stalking, and threats of violence. This is a huge achievement for the First Lady, and I know the President is very proud of his wife's efforts in getting this critical legislation passed to protect America's youth. So we thank the First Lady for her efforts, and we hope that others will report on this historic conviction yesterday. With respect to the 2-week ceasefire announced by President Trump last night, this is a victory for the United States of America that the President and our incredible military made happen. From the very beginning of Operation Epic Fury, President Trump stated this would be a 4 to 6 week military operation to dismantle the military threat posed by the radical Islamic Iranian regime. Thanks to the unbelievable capabilities of America's warfighters, the United States has achieved and exceeded those core military objectives in just 38 days. The U.S. military destroyed Iran's defense industrial base, crushing the regime's ability to manufacture weapons that they and their proxies use to maim and kill Americans and terrorize the world. Iran's ability to build and stockpile ballistic missiles and long-range drones has also been set back by years compared to where it was 6 weeks ago prior to the launch of Operation Epic Fury. We destroyed the vast majority of Iran's ballistic missiles, launcher vehicles, and long-range attack drones through more than 450 strikes on ballistic missiles and approximately 800 strikes on Iran's drone launching units and storage facilities. In total, more than 13,000 targets across Iran were struck. Again, this is in the matter of just 38 days. Meanwhile, the Iranian Navy was completely annihilated. The United States destroyed more than 150 naval vessels in total, including 16 entire classes of Iranian warships. Despite once being the largest undersea force in the Middle East, Iran now has 0 submarine vessels. 97% of Iran's once massive inventory of more than 5,000 naval mines has also been targeted and destroyed. Iran's air forces are functionally and operationally irrelevant at this point, after the United States maintained total air dominance over their country for weeks on end. To underscore the significance of this, before Operation Epic Fury, the Iranian Air Force would fly between 30 to 100 flights per day. Today, that number is 0. Iran's ability to fund and support its terrorist proxies has been greatly reduced. At this point, Iran can no longer distribute weapons to its proxies in the region. And most importantly, Iran will not be able to acquire nuclear weapons. Prior to the start of this successful operation, Iran was aggressively expanding its short-range ballistic missile arsenal. Through these weapons and its navy, Iran was attempting to build a military buildup around their country that would pose an imminent and existential threat to the United States military assets in the Middle East, our allies in the region, and ultimately the free world. Iran was pursuing this dangerous and aggressive strategy for one reason: to hold the entire world hostage to its terrorist ambitions. The Iranians aim to use their expanded military capabilities as a shield around their country to continue achieving their ultimate goal internally, building nuclear bombs. But their murderous and evil plans have been blown up, quite literally and figuratively, along with their military, their nuclear program, and most of their senior leadership, including the former Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Their command and control structures were also massively disrupted after being struck more than 2,000 times. Many of their remaining leaders are paralyzed in fear and no longer enjoy the freedom to move around their country freely and meet openly. Thanks to the unmatched excellence of our warriors at the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, the world has just witnessed a historically swift and successful military triumph. President Trump started Operation Epic Fury with strategic military objectives, and the United States has clearly achieved them. As we mark this progress, we also remember and honor the 13 American heroes who laid down their lives in this noble effort. I know President Trump and our grateful nation honors their ultimate sacrifice, and we will never forget them. May God bless their families. The valiant efforts of all of our incredible service members created maximum leverage for the President of the United States, allowing he and his leadership team to engage in tough negotiations over the past couple of weeks that have now created an opening for a diplomatic solution and long-term peace in the Middle East. The President's maximum pressure and the leverage created by the success of Operation Epic Fury led to the Iranian regime asking for and ultimately agreeing to a ceasefire proposal with the United States. Iran could no longer tolerate being bombed or taking the gamble of what was to come following President Trump's 8 p.m. deadline last night. Iran has agreed to open the Strait of Hormuz, and as the President said, we have received a proposal from the Iranians that has been determined to be a workable basis on which to negotiate. I've seen a lot of inaccurate coverage today from the media about these negotiations and these plans already. So let me be clear and correct the record.
You need to be watching the MG show. Thanks, Caroline. Yes, I love her. Thank you.
Exactly. That's what I would recommend.
The Iranians originally put forward a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely discarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump and his negotiating team. Many outlets in this room have falsely reported on that plan as being acceptable to the United States, and that is false. With the President's deadline fast approaching and the United States military completely decimating Iran with each passing hour, the regime acknowledged reality to the negotiating team. They put forward a more reasonable and entirely different and condensed plan to the President and his team. President Trump and the team determined the new modified plan was a workable basis on which to negotiate and to align it with our own 15-point proposal. The President's red lines, namely the end of Iranian enrichment in Iran, have not changed. And the idea that President Trump would ever accept an Iranian wish list as a deal is completely absurd. The President will only make a deal that serves in the best interests of the United States of America, and he as a negotiating team will focus on this effort over the next 2 weeks, so long as the Strait of Hormuz remains open with no limitations or delays. These extraordinarily sensitive and complex negotiations will take place behind closed doors over the course of the next 2 weeks. I would strongly advise the media against running with narratives that have no basis in fact. What Iran says publicly or feeds to all of you in the press is much different than what they communicate to the United States, the President, and his team privately. Never underestimate President Trump's ability to successfully advance America's interests and broker peace. President Trump has a proven track record of achieving good deals on behalf of the United States and the American people, and he will only accept one that puts America first. With that, I will take your questions today. I'm sure you have a lot of them. In our new media seat, we have Shane Harris with the AMAC Newsline. Shane, thank you for being here. Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Caroline. 2 questions for you. First, following the President's announcement of the ceasefire, if this is indeed the end of hostilities in Iran, What is the president's message to the American people about what was achieved for our country through Operation Epic Fury?
Sure. I think I just laid out a significant portion of that in my opening remarks. 6 weeks ago, the president looked the American people in the eye directly, and he told them that he launched this operation to take out the imminent threat that was posed by Iran. And that threat has now been greatly destroyed. Their navy, their missiles, their defense industrial base, and their desire and their plan to build a nuclear bomb inside their country is no longer going to be allowed, can no longer happen, thanks to the remarkable success of Operation Epic Fury over the course of the last 38 days. That has been absolutely achieved, and now we're moving into the next phase of this, which is a negotiating period to put some fine points on this and to hopefully broker an agreement that can achieve long-term peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, and then second, what is the president's message to American seniors who have a much higher voter participation rate and they're likely to be a key swing vote in the midterm elections?
Well, the president loves our seniors across the country. And as you know, the president signed the One Big Beautiful Bill, the Working Families Tax Cut last year, which greatly reduced taxes on Social Security for our seniors. In fact, thanks to the Working Families Tax Cut, nearly 90% of seniors will no longer pay tax on their Social Security. That's a huge win for our seniors and also for our middle class and working families across the country with the no tax on tips provision and the no tax on overtime. Next week is tax week. You'll hear a lot from the president about how his policies have benefited the American people, and I'm proud to report that the president will be traveling next week to the great states of Nevada and Arizona to tout this historic accomplishment over the course of the next week. Thank you for being here, Shane. Gabe.
Thank you, Caroline. Iranian state media is saying that Iran has now closed off the Strait of Hormuz today in response to Israeli attacks on Lebanon. What's the White House response to that? And you just listed many military successes. I understand that. But strategically, how is the administration arguing that Iran does not have more economic leverage than it did before the start of the war?
Sure. Well, with respect to the first reporting out of Iranian state media, the president was made aware of those reports before I came to the podium. That is completely unacceptable. And again, this is a case of what they're saying publicly is different privately. We have seen an uptick of traffic in the Strait today, and I will reiterate the president's expectation and demand that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened immediately.
And we showed you that right here on the MG show, Shady Groove, just before this.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly and safely. That is his expectation. It has been relayed to him privately that is what's taking place, and these reports publicly are false.
Oh, they're false, Shady Grove. Could you? Geez.
It's almost like you could predict
because Iran state media is in control of anything. I mean,
wow, yeah, they're right there on the cutting edge.
Look, CNN was busted for spreading Iranian propaganda, guys, from the IRGC. You guys understand that they're all exposed. These asshats sitting there should just pack it up and quit, really, Shady.
I mean, there was even speculation that some of those videos about the people surrounding the electrical facilities were fake. Did you see that? Yeah, there was a number of inconsistencies with some of those videos. Yeah, so I mean, it's like, but the idea is, obviously they're putting it out there to message, to say that they're doing these things, but there was, that there is a back and forth where these people are trying to trick us. They're trying to trick everybody. China and Russia does not want Iran to become a functional state in the region, because China and Russia are going to both be harmed tremendously, because if Iran has to obey real sanctions on the real world stage and isn't just allowed to sell oil wherever they want to, then there's going to be a lot of people, China's going to have a really hard time making diesel fuel for their military if Iran goes the way of America.
Interdasting.
Isn't that interesting? How they're already cornered to the point where they don't have enough to take Taiwan if they wanted to. So remember all this rhetoric about China's going to take Taiwan? Well, guess what? They can't do. They can't take Taiwan if they don't have a fuel source.
Finn just says, just tuning in. Did World War III start? I don't see any smoke or hear any boom booms.
It's already over, bro. We're here. We are dancing on the ashes.
Yeah. So Finn, we're right again. Okay. We're the MG show, and you and the MG show crew here and you listeners are all right again. Be proud of yourself, because it's the art of the deal. We explained that in hour number 1. Finn, good to see you. And we'll go back to Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Ready?
Yes.
Oh, this is good.
President.
President, Press Secretary. Yep.
The ceasefire deal wasn't reached.
Don't start with me.
Iranian leaders have said death to America. But why is it appropriate for the president of the United States to use that kind of language when talking about civilian targets? And was the president mocking Islam by signing off his True Social post over the weekend, praise be to Allah? Wouldn't that antagonize Muslim allies across the world?
Well, we wouldn't want to antagonize Muslim people.
We wouldn't want to antagonize them.
No.
Oh, my God.
No. It's called the art of a deal, dude.
These are some of the weakest, most pathetic human beings ever to exist in this country. Honestly, they don't even deserve to be able to be called Americans. I mean, there's something else. They're like communist cutouts. They're like socialist marauder. I don't know what the hell we're going to call them, but they're not Americans, man. They root against you at every single turn.
Are we gonna be a little like? What about their feelings when President Trump said praise be Allah? Feelings.
I understand the questions about the president's rhetoric, but what the president cares most about is results. And in fact, his very tough rhetoric and his tough negotiating style is what has led to the result that you are all witnessing today. Iran publicly acknowledging last night that they have agreed or that they wanted this ceasefire with the United States because they no longer could tolerate being bombed by our very powerful and lethal military, and that they have committed to the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which the president will hold them accountable for, and it's something the administration is closely monitoring in real time. Danny.
Should the world not take his word seriously?
The world should take his word very seriously.
That they took it serious.
The president is always most interested.
The president's a taco, Shady. Trump's always chickens out, man. That's what he does. Because we don't understand that there was a negotiation. We don't get it. We want Iran to win. What
dude?
How do you make a deal if you're not taking them serious? Wow. Do you understand like how the media is? They are so in the tank for this. This is the reason they're mad, Jeff. The future is not bright for media. The future's not bright because you're not going to have a boogeyman anymore. If you want to be popular in media, you got to get out there and do some actual work. And guess what? No, CNN's not going to publish it. NBC's not going to publish it. ABC, WAPO, they're not going to publish it either. So none of you people are going to be relevant because nobody's going to listen to fear porn any longer when there's no threat.
We are the news now.
Oh my goodness, this is tough stuff.
In results. And it was the Iranians who backed down, not President Trump. He said that they would face very grave consequences, as you just laid out, by the 8 p.m. deadline if they did not agree to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. And what did they do last night? They agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Danny.
Thanks, Caroline. Would President Trump like to see Lebanon included in this peace deal? As you know, there have been increased Israeli strikes on Lebanon today with dozens of casualties there.
Sure. Lebanon is not part of the ceasefire. That has been relayed to all parties involved in the ceasefire. As you know, Prime Minister Netanyahu put out a statement last night in support of the ceasefire, in support of the United States' efforts, and he's also assured the president they'll continue to be a helpful partner throughout the course of the next 2 weeks.
Is there any thought?
Doesn't it concern you that these people have no idea about that?
It should. It's like they're flat. I just love that the people that are supposed to keep you informed are the most ill-informed human beings ever to be on this. But Jeff says it all the time. It's like we're smarter than the intelligence agencies. The news media represents. They're the front company. The news media is the front company for the CIA. So they put their best forward. So we're looking at the highest IQ people associated with the intelligence agencies, I guess.
Wow. We're smarter than the not so intelligence agencies, the rogue ones. Wow.
We are. They could choose to be smarter, but instead they make decision after decision after decision. Stupid.
They got their 4 a.m. talking points, didn't they, Penelope? That's right.
That is it.
Here we go back to the news conference.
So that the president might like to see Lebanon included at a future date, given that it seems to be causing or potentially undermining the Iran ceasefire.
Again, this will continue to be discussed, I am sure, between the president and Prime Minister Netanyahu, the United States and Israel, and all of the parties involved. But at this point in time, they're not included in the ceasefire deal. Jeff.
Caroline, will the U.S. take part in talks with Iran in Islamabad on Friday?
I can announce that the president is dispatching his negotiating team, led by the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, Special Envoy Witkoff, and Mr. Kushner to Islamabad for talks this weekend. The first round of those talks will take place on Saturday morning local time, and we look forward to those in-person meetings.
What role does the president see for the U.S. in monitoring or helping with the Strait of Hormuz going forward?
I think the president commented on that this morning. We're going to continue to monitor it very, very closely. We will be helpful in any way that we can, but we fully expect Iran to do this, and the president has made that quite clear as well. It's, again, as his statement said last night, the ceasefire is subject to the safe reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Again, this was just determined last night. We understand things take time, but that's the president's expectation, and he will hold everyone to it. Sure, in the green blazer.
Thank you, Carol.
Sure. And then in front of you. But Andrew, you can go ahead.
All right.
You're not wearing a green blazer.
I am actually wearing a green blazer.
It's a little brown to me, but go ahead.
Fair enough. Regarding the president's rhetoric, when the U.S. invaded Iraq in 2003, George W. Bush said in a message to the Iraqi people that the military campaign was directed, quote, against the lawless men who rule your country and not against you. Yesterday, the president threatened to destroy Iran's civilization, the entire civilization. Not the Iranian government, but the Iranian civilization, the Iranian people. The U.S. has been a moral leader for most of its history by fighting wars.
You the walrus noise.
Governments, not against civilizations. How can the president claim that America can ever have the moral high ground if he's threatening to destroy civilizations and not casting
walrus does it so much better than me.
against other governments?
Andrew, I think you should take a look at the actions of this president over the course of the past 6 weeks and the actions of our brave men and women in our United States military who have taken out essentially taken out the military of a rogue Islamic regime that has chanted death to America for 47 years, that has killed and maimed thousands of American soldiers over the course of the last 5 decades. The president absolutely has the moral high ground over the Iranian terrorist regime, and for you to even suggest otherwise is frankly insulting.
With all due respect, Caroline,
Go ahead.
with all due respect,
Go ahead.
there is...
Just given what we've seen in Lebanon today and the increased attacks from Israel, I mean, is there any concern that Netanyahu is trying to kill the ceasefire?
The president spoke with Prime Minister Netanyahu last night. In that private conversation, Prime Minister Netanyahu relayed exactly what he said to the world publicly, that he supports the president and Israel remains a key ally and partner to the United States. They've been a tremendous partner over the course of the past 6 weeks, and we thank them for their heroic efforts as well. The president had that conversation last night, and that was relayed to the world publicly as well. Reagan, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. I have a question for you on Iran, and then I have a question on the Dignity Act as
Sure.
well. On Iran, it's been reported that the ceasefire was struck after the involvement of 2 unlikely factors, J.D. Vance and China. What role did those parties play in striking a deal?
Well, Vice President Vance has played a very significant and a key role in this since the very beginning. Of course, he's the president's right-hand man. He is the Vice President of the United States. He's been involved in all of these discussions, and as I just announced, he'll be leading this new phase of negotiations in Islamabad later this week. With respect to China, there were conversations that took place between top levels of our government and China's government. The president has great respect for President Xi and a great working relationship with him and with that country, and he looks forward to visiting China in just a few weeks.
And on the Dignity Act, it's getting a fresh push through Congress. It would give some illegal immigrants in the country a path to citizenship. What's the White House's position on this legislation, and would the president sign it if it made it to his desk?
Honestly, Reagan, I haven't spoken to the president about the legislation, but I will have that conversation, and we'll get you our formal position on it as soon as we can. You're welcome. Go ahead.
The president suggested in an interview this morning that he would support a joint U.S.-Iranian venture to charge tolls for ships going through the strait. Does the president believe that the U.S. should earn revenue from the Strait of Hormuz going forward?
It's an idea the president has floated, as you know, and it's something that will continue to be discussed over the course of the next 2 weeks. But the immediate priority of the president is the reopening of the strait without any limitations, whether in the form of tolls or otherwise.
On the highly enriched uranium, has Iran given the administration any indication that it would simply turn over the enriched uranium, or is this an expectation that the president has that he would have to send in ground troops in order to do that?
This is on the top of the priority list for the president and his negotiating team as they head into this next round of discussions. And as I said in my opener, that is a red line that the president is not going to back away from, and he's committed to ensuring that takes place. We hope it will be through diplomacy.
But have they given any indication that they would turn it over?
They have.
They have.
Yes. Trevor.
The latest news out of Iran is that the air defenses have been activated in several cities, including Isfahan, and that explosions have been heard in Isfahan. Who is bombing Iran right now?
Were those reports just as of a few minutes ago? Yeah. Okay, so obviously I'll have to go back and check with the national security team. I'm standing out here with all of you, but I will do that and we will get you an answer, okay?
And just on the civilization question that we've been talking about.
And I would just add to that point, again, I haven't seen these reports. I'm not verifying them. Not that I don't trust you, Trevor, but I want to go back and check with the experts here at the White House. I would just say, and I would echo what the Vice President said this morning, this is a fragile truce. Ceasefires are fragile by nature. We've seen this with respect to the 12-day war with Iran and Israel last year. It takes time sometimes for these ceasefires to be fully effectuated. And one of the results of Operation Epic Fury was we completely dismantled Iran's command and control center, which makes it difficult for them to pass messages up and down the chain. And so we understand that. I would caution a little bit of patience, but of course we want to see the ceasefire effectuated and abided by all parties as quickly as possible.
Thank you. And the American presidential administrations, going back to Ronald Reagan, have said this formulation about nuclear war, that a nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. Is that still the view of this administration, given the president's comments about civilization?
I have no change in our view on that policy.
Thanks, Carolyn. I'm just, given the gravity of what he said yesterday, what was your understanding of what he meant when he said, this civilization is going to be eliminated?
I think it was a very, very strong threat from the President of the United States that led the Iranian regime to cave to their knees and ask for a ceasefire and agree to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. So it was a very strong threat that led to results. And as the Secretary of War stated at the Pentagon this morning, it was not an empty threat by any means. The Pentagon had a target list that they were ready to hit go on at 8 p.m. last night if the Iranian regime had not agreed to open the strait, which they did, and I think that's something we should all be grateful for.
The United States is a moral leader in the world, given that he
I was asked this exact same question by your colleague Andrew in the back, and I think, again, the insinuation by anyone in this room that Iran somehow has the moral high ground over the United States of America is insulting, considering the atrocities that they have committed against our people and our military over the past 5 decades. John.
They're trying to talk over the answer because they don't want and like the answer, because they're obviously paid by Iran or some foreign entity like China or Russia. You guys stop it. You're telling me that these people that have killed their own people and our troops and Americans have the moral high ground above Donald J. Trump, who's trying to stop a damn war?
Mm-hmm. That's what they're telling you. That's exactly what they're telling you. They're not mincing any words. That's the reason that they showed allegiance to Khashoggi. That's the reason that they showed allegiance to Soleimani. That's the reason that they showed allegiance to Maduro. That's the reason that they show allegiance to Castro's regime in Cuba. Every single time that a communist is under threat from America, the communist numbnuts will run to a microphone and scream to defend the commies.
You know, I want to know, they have their little, Ukrainian flags who, did they not forget? Did they forget that Zelensky was bombing nuclear reactors? How come that war is still going on, guys? Huh?
Good question.
Huh? They bomb bridges. They're bombing nuclear reactors. Hundreds of them, Shady, in Russia.
They absolutely are.
So they're out here saying that Trump, who didn't do any of that, is a war criminal, but not Zelensky?
Yep.
Where is the common sense, Shady?
Because Zelensky is their boy. You see, Zelensky's the commie in the situation. He's the one to be protected. Putin, Trump, bad.
Trump bad. And, all the psyopers, this is from Red Pill, are claiming that the strait is closed again and that Iran is attacking UAE and Israel. With what? A couple of missiles? And, Caroline Levitt put it perfectly. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be issues. This is how it happens. And what you're seeing, too, is in Iran, you've got different factions maybe competing with each other. Okay, one not listening to the other, but they will eventually all listen to the same person in Iran. Just wait, Shady Groove.
Okay, well,
I know you wanted to interrupt me. Go ahead.
I was trying like hell not to interrupt you. Ceasefire. Okay, there's many subtle levels to a ceasefire. There's almost never is a ceasefire like nobody shoots at each other. Okay, you understand this? Like your mind like thinks in these absolutes. A ceasefire like. 25 years after the end of World War II, they were still numbnut Japanese holed up in their bunkers, shooting at anybody that would come near them. They didn't ceasefire, and the ceasefire had been like the war had been over for decades.
And there's no communication on that island that you're talking about, and there's no communication in Iran.
That's exactly right. There's no communication. I was getting ready to say that. There's no internet. There's no communication. So these people are struggling within the country of Iran to talk to one another. So there's not, a ceasefire doesn't mean that nothing is going to be fired off. The IRGC in southern Iran is still going to lob missiles across the over to Bahrain or whatever it is they've been doing. That will continue. But the media doesn't understand these things. They just want a headline that makes Donald Trump look bad. They don't care about
everything that he does is
else.
bad. Yeah,
and everything you do and think is bad too. And during the Revolutionary War, everything that the people that were standing up, the patriots of America, according to the media, everything that they did was bad also.
That's right.
So
and
if we listened to these people in the press room, you would still be called Britain.
Yeah.
And they used eggs, Shady, to communicate.
They did. On the inside, they wrote invisible ink. They put them back together.
That's right. Real quick, let's just do this real quick because we got a Rumble wallet ad right here, Shady Group. This is awesome. They can cancel your accounts. They can freeze your cards. Decide what you are allowed to buy, say, or support. Big banks, financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial institutions and financial independence matters more now than ever, guys. Introducing that Rumble wallet, or wallet built for real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you will control your money. Not a bank, not a government, or not a tech company. Buy digital assets like Tether Gold. We love Tether Gold. Thank you, Midnight's Watch, for the Tether Gold. And Bitcoin in one secure place. No permission, no middlemen, no cancel buttons. And you can, if you want to support your favorite creators, you actually believe in, you can use that Rumble Wallet app to directly tip us or tip your favorite content creators securely, instantly, and without interference. This isn't a credit line that they can shut off. It's your wallet, permanently yours to protect your family, yours to protect your future. And when the system fails, when the institutions turn on their own, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability. Rumble Wallet isn't about politics, guys. It's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what is yours. So take control today. Download Rumble Wallet now. One step away from big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, and true financial freedom.
I'd like to thank all of you guys so much for actually having the patience to wield what it is that we're calling the Great Awakening. It's all of us together that are standing in the gap. There's a big gap. We need more people in the gap. Encourage folks to step away from the nonsense and to come over here and hang out with us where there is a little bit of sanity. I really honestly believe that now they have created
just a little bit.
I really do believe that now they have created an environment where this show can absolutely explode, for people to realize that there's normal human beings in America that are trusting and supporting with their words and their actions the president of the United States in a way that I feel like there's so few people with microphones supporting him. So thank you all for being here. And thank you all for all of your lovely, lovely comments towards us every day.
Back to Caroline Levitt.
John, go ahead. Thanks a lot, Caroline. Two questions for you. One has to do with a statement, a joint statement put out this morning by some of America's European allies, our NATO allies. And in that joint statement, they said regarding the Strait of Hormuz, our governments will contribute to ensuring freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. What's the administration's reaction to that joint statement? Does that smooth things over when the president meets with NATO Secretary General a little bit later this afternoon?
I have a direct quote from the President of the United States on NATO, and I will share it with all of you. They were tested and they failed. And I would add, it's quite sad that NATO turned their backs on the American people over the course of the last 6 weeks when it's the American people who have been funding their defense. As you know, President Trump will be meeting with Secretary Ruta in a couple of hours here at the White House, and I know he looks forward to having a very frank and candid conversation with him.
And then secondly,
we're going to pull out of NATO.
In regards to this conflict, 38 days, as you pointed out, President Trump has said that there's been regime change. Has that regime change led to more freedoms for the Iranian people?
I think that's a question that's being asked a little bit too early, John. And
Yeah, we're like one like 8 hours. Oh my God, dude.
What a jerk.
we hope that is the case, but it's something that has yet to be seen. Eamon.
Caroline, on this question of tolling by the Iranians in the Strait of Hormuz, I've heard you talk about a number of red lines that the president has in this negotiation, but I haven't heard you say that Iranian tolling in the Strait of Hormuz is a red line. Would it be acceptable to the United States at the end of all this if the Iranians are able to charge tolls in the Strait of Hormuz?
I think the president was very clear and simplistic in his language last night in his Truth Social post, where he said that this ceasefire is subject to the free, safe, and immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. That's very plain language, and it should be taken at face value.
You mean free to charge?
Carrie, go ahead. Without limitation, including tolls, yes. Carrie.
A quick follow-up on the tolling. Why would the U.S. allow Iran to collect tolls in the Strait of Hormuz? That's not something that we've opposed for a number of years now.
Again, that's not...
Oh, okay. So they want Iran to get money and to collect tolls. Who are these people?
They're nuts, man.
Jesus. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm about had it with these people.
I've had it with them a long time.
Well, you know, same here.
That's why we started doing this.
Something we've said that we've definitively accepted. The joint venture is something that was proposed by the president, but he was very clear in his statement last night. He wants to see the strait reopened immediately without limitation, and that's something we're going to hold them to.
A second question on
family and friends in Iran. I myself am Iranian, and I've been talking to them through the blackout. One of my family members yesterday said goodbye to me. So what message should we be sending Iranians when they message me saying what should they be doing right now? How should they stay safe? Because they really don't know what to do.
I think the president's main priority, and my main priority as his spokeswoman, is to make sure that clear messages are sent to the American people, of course, which is my job today. With respect to the Iranian people, the president, has taken out the imminent threat that was posed by their military to the United States, to our allies in the region, to our forces in the region, and of course, as the president has long said, he hopes that Iran will be a country of peace, of prosperity, and we're moving into this next round of negotiations to hopefully come to an agreement with this new regime that will create long-term stability in the Middle East.
And how is she getting these messages, Shady? From a cell phone? Carrier pigeon? Smoke signals? How is she getting messages?
Jeff, it's they finally got the string laid, the string line that goes between the two paper cups.
The tin cans? Yeah.
Yeah, or the tin. Yeah, well, yeah. But they're using paper cups. They don't have any tin.
Yeah. It's amazing. Wow. Effectual insurrections. Thank you so much. These psyoping MFers are like attempting to have a convo with the but why toddler keck FFS, $17 for the F-bomb jar. Thank you so much. And thank you, Effectual. And thanks, Jeff, Shady, and Yeti, and friends. Thank you, Effectual Insurrection. Appreciate you. Back to Caroline.
He has said that they should stay inside of their homes and also take back their country. So there's a contradiction there. So how do you address that?
Again, we're moving into this next round of negotiations with the remnants of the regime and those that we are speaking with now to hopefully reach a place of peace long term for the region, and that includes the Iranian people as well. In the blue, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. The White House posted the statement from the Iranian government that passage in the strait will be coordinated with Iran's armed forces. As of today, who controls the Strait of Hormuz?
Again,
let's just say we do, huh? Jeez.
Matrix.
Statements were put out
That's who.
12 hours ago. We expect that the strait will be opened immediately. As I've said earlier, we have seen an uptick in traffic in the strait, and it's something that we are monitoring minute by minute, hour by hour as the days go on.
Who controls the strait right now?
Two questions. One on the deportations of Iranian officials, and then on the negotiations. Are there
Who controls the strait right now? We.
Being part of these peace talks, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and then two, given the ongoing deportation of General Soleimani's niece, does the Trump administration plan to deport more relatives or people in the families of Iranian officials that are in the U.S.?
Certainly, anyone who is here fraudulently. I understand one of the individuals who their visa was revoked by Secretary Rubio and they were by ICE. They had a fraudulent asylum claim. That's against the laws of the United States. So anyone who is here illegally or fraudulently is subject to our nation's immigration laws and will be removed from our country. And I know this continues to be a top priority for the State Department, working in conjunction with the Department of Homeland Security. With respect to the safety of the Vice President, we fully trust the United States Secret Service to do their job, to keep the Vice President and the President's negotiating team safe. They do a tremendous job, and we fully trust them to do that.
Caroline.
In the back, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. The President has said Cuba is next. What's the message to the American people regarding Cuba, and what can Cubans expect in relation to this statement?
Well, look, I think when President Trump said that, and he later clarified after making that statement, that he meant the Cuban regime is bound to fall. The country is very weak. They're in a very weak position economically, obviously, financially. The Cuban people are fed up with their government, as they should be. And these talks and discussions continue to happen at the highest level of our government. I don't have any updates or announcements for you with respect to Cuba policy today. Good to see you.
Thank you, Caroline. Secretary Hegseth said this morning that U.S. troops would be sticking around. Can you expound upon that?
Hanging around.
Expect from U.S. troops in theater for the next 2 weeks and beyond?
I would defer you to the Pentagon for any specifics on assets that have been in place in the Middle East, but take the Secretary at his word, and also the President has reiterated this as well in his own words, that we're not going to move anything immediately. Again, this is a 2-week ceasefire where we hope at the end, and we expect at the end, we'll have a good agreement between the United States and Iran, but in the meantime, we're going to ensure that our military is always at the ready of the Commander-in-Chief. I'll take a couple more in the back. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
On NATO, I'll take your question. Go
Thank you,
ahead.
Caroline. On NATO, can you tell me, is the United States still considering withdrawing from NATO? Is that
yes!
It's something the President has discussed, and I think it's something the President will be discussing in a couple of hours with Secretary General.
We're going to get it done.
Directly from the President following that meeting later this
You're
afternoon.
looking at the end of NATO.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thank you, Caroline Levitt. What an amazing press conference. What stupid questions. We need to get. Where's our press pack? Let's get in there, man. Come on, guys. What's
We're
going
working on that. Matter of fact, we have more work to do today.
More work to do today, Shady Groove, and that's our show today. I mean, really, just to sum up the show, we're always wrong until we're right. People think that that's being a big head, or it's just confidence, guys. We have been exposed to Q. We reported on it. We've been attacked relentlessly on it, just like President Trump is attacked relentlessly by the same people that are attacking President Trump, are attacking Q, are attacking us. I mean, it's starting to become like you guys, because we read those posts and researched them, we're kind of understanding what's happening more than anybody else. And all these fake decoders have no idea, Shady. They have no idea. Oh, my God.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Caroline.
There she is. Thank you, Caroline. But it's just amazing, Shady Groove. We're over the target, and we're still being attacked today by the same people, Shady Groove.
And it will continue and will be the same tomorrow, sir.
Yep. Shady?
Absolutely.
Yeti, what did you say?
Oh, nice.
MG.show. Let's go to that right now. MG.show. All right, let's go to MG.show. This is our website, guys, if you haven't been there. It's not .com, it's .show. MG.show, like the MG show. MG.show. This is our website, guys. We've got, podcasts here. We've got all of that. We've got the platforms there. Want to sponsor us, advertise, you can contact us there. If you guys love the work, we've got a Norwegian. We got like nice little things. This is the MG Show mail, guys. Okay. If you guys want to sign up and subscribe to our new newsletter that's going to be coming shortly, get over to mg.show and subscribe to that newsletter, just like Shady made the announcement earlier today. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
buddy.
Shady.
Great
Wrap
work.
it up for us, brother.
I would like to say to all of you, thank you so much. I'd like to say to President Trump, Godspeed, God be with you. The leader of the free world is actually leading the free world, and he's doing it in a way that I would do if I were in his position. And I think that that's what you need to do. If you want to grade the president of the United States, we have no problem with that, but you should grade the president against a measure that you would grade yourself were you in that exact predicament. None of these people like Alex Jones or any of those media that you heard talking right there will ever discuss or grade the president, this president specifically. They did fine with grading the other presidents, depending on if it was the 40% for or the 60% against. What Donald Trump has faced is a 95% against onslaught, or 95% against him onslaught from the media since the moment that he came down the escalator. And he's still beating them a decade and a year later. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for using your discernment. Discernment is given to you by God, okay? Governments don't give you discernment. The man upstairs gave it to you, and he really did want you to use it.
And there's a deep, dark force that is trying to get that away from you guys, okay?
It's your best tool.
Amen. God bless you all. Thank you very much for tuning in to the MG Show. We're going to go out with Scottish Anon again. Here we go. All right. The world is watching, guys.
The entire world is watching. Patriots from around the world are praying for America. We are all bound by a feeling deep inside. A feeling that cannot be publicly expressed for fear of ridicule. A feeling that challenges the mainstream against that which we are told to accept and dare not question. Put simply, that people are being abused by those in power and time is running out. Remember the battles of Lexington and Concord. Give me liberty or give me death! For far too long we have been silent and allowed our bands of strength that we once formed to defend freedom and liberty to deteriorate. We became divided. We became weak. We elected traitors to govern us. We allowed evil to prey on us. Those who claimed to represent us gave us false hope, made false promises. The evil and corruption only grew. This is more than party politics. This is about restoring old glory. This is about saving our land and our people from those who wish us harm. This is about preserving our republic. This is about preserving our safety. This is about restoring our strength. This is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is about protecting our children. This is about saving America. We are all God's children. We are fathers. We are mothers. We are daughters. We are sons. We are brothers. We are sisters. We do not look at race. We do not look at skin color. We are united in these states of America. We are and will always be patriots. We must rise again. We must unite again. We must fight again for God and country. God bless America. go all
www.mg.show. Boom.